the top 10 shooting guards in the NBA. And
Uh-oh.
I've got a hot take. Okay, I know some people aren't going to appreciate this.
Bring it hot.
Maybe it's my number 2. So maybe I should wait until I get there. I'll give you guys my list right now. So honorable mentions for this list. I have a lot of young guards. I have Jaden Ivey of the Pistons, Shaedon Sharpe of the Trailblazers, Benedict Mathurin of the Pacers, Quentin Grimes of the Knicks because he's so complimentary. And then I wrap things up with let me pull it up. Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is right outside of my top 10. Starting my top 10, I have at the end of this, we're going to read off our lists for TikTok and stuff like that. At number 10 for my top 10 shooting guards, Derek White. Best year of his career, one of the best defensive players who can protect the rim, but also shot damn near 40% from downtown. In the Hawks series, lit the world on fire. Right above him, we've got Klay Thompson. Klay he's fallen. I don't know if he'll be here in a year, but for now, I'm grandfathering him into a CJ McCollum at number 8. McCollum just had a thumb injury, did not play well this last year, but these are two McCollum's their main all-star team. These are two 20-point per game scores for the better part of the last 7-10 years. I'm going to respect them given their utility. Number 7, number 8. My apologies. I'm all over the place. Wait.
I think you're at 7. You're at 7.
Yeah, so 8, I got CJ. Sorry. 7, I've got Desmond Bane of the Grizzlies. I think he's the perfect number 3. I don't think he's a number 2 scorer, but he's a decent defender, elite shooter, very much a $120 million guy. Number 6, I've got Zach LaVine. If it weren't for the injury issues, I would have him in my top 4. Unfortunately, the guy can't stay healthy for a full year. And we've seen this since 2021. He is an elite scorer, but I do worry about his feel for the game, average defender at best. Number 5, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I've got Bradley Beal above Zach LaVine. Similar story, but he's a better playmaker, equals all-around scorer. There's more craft and passing to his game. He's also a better defender than Zach. So I have him comfortably ahead. Number 4, I have Jaylen Brown. That's a feel for the game and vision. I think Brown is pretty much the perfect forward, but he's also regressed defensively. And so I kind of thought about putting Bradley Beal ahead of him. Number 3, I've got Donovan Mitchell. And ahead of Donovan Mitchell, I have Anthony Edwards. I think Ant-Man is the second best shooting guard in the league. You look at what you want in a 2. You want someone that's versatile and can't be exploited. Mitchell, for multiple postseason runs, has been attacked defensively. With Ant-Man, he's 5 inches taller than a Donovan Mitchell, but he's got better playmaking than a Jaylen Brown. He's also a guy that in multiple playoff runs now has completely torched defenses. And the Nuggets, let's be honest, they shut down Jimmy Butler, but outside of him and Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards was the second toughest player they had to defend this postseason. He is so complete of a guard, and if he can continue getting better as a playmaker, where he averaged 5 assists in the playoffs, I think in a non-Devin Booker world, this is the best shooting guard in the league. He is so good. He's 21 years old. He's not turning 22 until August. So you look at what he's done already in the NBA, helping carry this Minnesota team to the playoffs this last year, and I had to give him more respect. If he's not top 2 already, he damn sure will be in a year from now.
Wait a tick. What?
And number 1 is Devin Booker.
Yeah, I understand that.
I hope so.
No, I mean, maybe I have them in different positions, I guess. You don't. Paul George is not a shooting guard to you?
I have
SGA also in my shooting guard list.
Oh, okay.
I put in my point guards. You're with us for the point guards, though, weren't you?
He wasn't. Romain was.
Oh, my fault. That's on me. Yeah, I
have Paul George as a shooting guard.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have Chris Middleton as a shooting guard as well. But I guess that's fine. Pick your poison. All right, so I'll go. Number 10, I have CJ McCollum. Right outside of that, my honorable mentions like John, Tyler Hero, Josh Giddey, Austin Reeves, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Maxey are in that category for me. So 10, CJ. Number 9, I got Chris Middleton. 8, I got Klay. 7, Zach LaVine. 6, Bradley Beal. Then we go into like that upper echelon guys. Give my nod. Number 5, I got Anthony Edwards. I can expect him. I can see him taking a bigger jump like John has him at number 2. That's a bigger jump. The rest of my guys in front of him are all playoff proven. He is not so much yet. He's still young. Like, what'd you say? He's 21 still.
He is so far.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't won a series, so.
Is that on him?
I mean, if you're the best player on that's what I'm saying. So, like, you want to be in this category, John. You are the guy. So, yes, it is kind of on him at the end of the day. Number 4, I got Donovan Mitchell. Number 3, Jaylen Brown. 2, Paul George. And then number 1 is Devin Booker. He's the consensus best shooting guard in the league.
Okay. So I also have James Harden listed as a shooting guard.
Okay. Well, where have you been, John? I mean, Justin. He's been playing point guard.
He's been playing point guard, but he's been a shooting guard for a large portion of his career.
Well,
just not too long ago.
We're doing this. I know Brandon had Clay above Desmond Bane, but we're doing this right now. 2023. But you good.
Clay is better than Desmond Bane.
So I'll remove,
he does nothing better than Desmond Bane.
I'll remove James Harden out of my top 10. So I'll take him out. And that actually opens a spot for somebody that I left out of my top 10. I'm sorry, Brandon, but I'll put Clay at 10. So Clay was initially off of my list more so because of the injuries. He's just aging, didn't look the same in the postseason. So but I'll throw Clay at 10. I'll throw CJ McCollum at 9. I got Zach LaVine at 8. Middleton at 7. Now I know the injuries are still there, but still Middleton is a baller, so I'm going to go Middleton at 7. And then at 6, I have Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is a fantastic scorer. Does he move the needle for me in certain aspects of the game? No, absolutely not, but he knows how to light it up. So I'll go Bradley Beal. At number 5, I already told you guys who I had on my shooting guard list, SGA. I know some of you guys consider him a point guard, but he's more of a pure scorer than he is a pure passer, so I'm going to go with him as a shooting guard. 30-plus points per game, all-star appearance. What he's doing for the Oklahoma City Thunder right now is fantastic. I think this team's on the verge to make a big jump. At number 4, I have the closest thing to Jordan mentality that we see on the floor today, and that is the Ant-Man. While I'm not ready to throw him at number 2, I do think that what he can do for the Timberwolves, their ceiling is so high. As they just got to worry about everything else. Ant-Man and what he's doing, he's averaging, I think, 24 points per game. I think by next year he might be averaging close to 30 at his pace. So I think he's an absolute monster, and I can't wait to see him more on the biggest stage going deeper in the postseason. At number 3, I got Jaylen Brown. Now, this is a guy that I'm so iffy about. So one day he's on, one day he's off. Last year, we're talking about him as possibly being better than Tatum, and now this year, Tatum clears him. So it's a slippery slope with him, but I like Jaylen Brown at number 3. At number 2, I got to go with the Spider. I'm going to go with Donovan Mitchell. Going to Cleveland, I think he had a career high in points per game, too. Also shot very well from the field at that pace, and he leads Cleveland to the postseason. So I'm going to go Donovan Mitchell at number 2. And the clear consensus, number 1, I mean, this guy, Devin Booker, elevated his game to new heights in the postseason, averaging 33-plus points per game. The guy was an absolute monster, shooting over 50% from the field in the postseason. I mean, there's no debate on who to go for.
Closest thing to Kobe since Kobe?
You know, I can't think of anybody else who's more similar, but I think Kevin Durant's the closest thing to Kobe, actually. And D-Book.
I would. I don't no. Mentality wise, nah. I just.
Well, I'm talking from a play style element.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Kevin Durant's game is very much versatile. It's tough shot making. It's out the posts. Kobe wasn't as much of a volume shooter as KD is now. But yeah, I think Kevin Durant's the closest thing to Kobe. And Booker, Booker's player comp is Kobe, but I don't know if he's really like that. Maybe I'd rock with, a little bit of Paul Pierce and Kobe mixed into one another. But he's just way more quick than the two of those guys. He's more shifty. Yeah. And I think he's just a better athlete than those two. I'd take not as a leaper, He's not more athletic than Kobe, but he's quicker and he accelerates faster than Kobe, especially off the catch. Because Kobe was like one and shit in the dunk contest. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But in terms of the speed and the pace they play at, he played at the fastest. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I do want to say one thing here. Well, I actually want to say a couple of things. You said before, Anthony Edwards, it may not be him the reason why the Timberwolves aren't going more in the playoffs, but It's not him. It's the fact they've been a total disaster. Their best defender's breaking his hand, Amari Stoudemire style. Donovan Mitchell, since 2020, has done nothing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, to me, if you're going to talk about, hey, look, your team hasn't won anywhere, and if you're the star, that has to fall on you. I think that is where he used that reasoning for him, but not Ant-Man. Ant-Man's been better than Donovan. And I know he came in on fire, but what have he done the last 3 years? Like, this is him getting outplayed thoroughly.
Was it Donovan Mitchell's fault that Mitchell Robinson was making Jared Allen and Evan Mobley his what?
Donovan, he plateaued.
I get that, but I feel like the game was won and lost right under the rim with Mitchell Robinson absolutely dominating Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Both those guys looked like us three out there.
Sure.
They were weak in the backside. They didn't have the girth to compete with Mitchell Robinson.
But Donovan's a guy jacking up 9 3 balls a game.
He also
24% on those looks at the same exact time. Defensively, he's getting beat at the point of attack when he's healthy and when he's not healthy. So I agree with you on that point. Mitchell Robinson was the biggest difference maker in that series. But when we're talking about this level of star talent, if you're that guy, you overcome Mitchell Robinson's offensive rebounding. That is not what defines your team's playoff success. The fact that the opposing team's fifth starter got 4 offensive rebounds a game. What defines it is that you're the best player on the floor. And in no game this last postseason is he the best player on the floor.
Yeah, but quite frankly, nobody on Cleveland actually showed up. So,
well, Garland played better in his first ever playoff.
Garland was also very inconsistent. You're going to give him 2 games that he actually was shooting the ball,
Outside of game 1, though, and he did drop 38 in game 1, so I want to be a little bit more fair to him. Mitchell was terrible.
No, see, listen, both like Donovan Mitchell, and Edwards are 4 and 5 for me. Like I have them right then and there. Both these guys are guys who can jump a Brown and Paul George because they're being asked to be the guy. And Paul George and Jaylen Brown at this point in Paul George's career, he's being asked to be the second guy. Paul George, we know 10 years ago, was asked to be the guy, and he was taking his team to the Eastern Conference Finals as the guy. And that's not something Donovan Mitchell or Ant have done either. So,
who is the league's most overrated player? Stick with the shooting guards. I think it's Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson to me is kind of living off the name value a little bit. And so in this category, I'm like, hey, look, I don't have Desmond Bane here. But if we're talking the entire league, I think the most overrated player would be Joel Embiid. I think it's Joel. This is the first MVP that's ever made it to the conference finals. And I don't have him in my top 5. I don't have him in my top 7 because the best team he's ever beaten in the playoffs is the 2022 Raptors. So I don't think many people have him in their top 4. But there were some people before this playoff run that did.
There are people who freaking love Joel Embiid. There's still people who think that Joel Embiid they take him over Nikola Jokic. Not saying they're right. They're right. Yes, there are still people who prefer Joel Embiid's game over Nikola Jokic game. There are.
Yeah, and that's why they're probably Sixers fans that haven't seen their team touch the conference finals in 25 years. Outside of Embiid, who else would you guys have?
Well, like I said, 2 times, James Harden is the most overrated player.
Outside of Harden.
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Just right now, then.
Julius Randle. That's easy.
I'd say Anthony Davis to me is overrated.
Oh, well, why?
I'm telling you, I think he's too inconsistent. I think for what you expect out of the guy, for him to show up, only on odd games? No, come on.
Justin, you know what? You really are onto something because this guy was, his talent speaks top 5 and he is, not even cracking people's top 10 right now. It's like, and yes, it has to do with injury too, but that's also, you gotta be
don't get me wrong. He always brings it on the defensive side of the floor, but you expect so much more out of him. Like I said, offensively, this is supposed to be his team. Where are you?
If you are a 20-10 guy with the best defender in the West, or the second best after Draymond Green, that's a top 10 player, top 12. He's worthy of a top 10 selection. But here's the thing. I think guys like Randle and DeRozan, Embiid's another one, if you have no playoff resume whatsoever, you haven't beaten anybody, you haven't performed well, and you've been the reason why your team hasn't won anywhere, I do think you're one of those guys. So I'm not going to be like, let's pull up a random role player. I'm not going to say Malcolm Brogdon's overrated, let's say. Or what's another one? Help me out here. What's a role player that's a little bit too praised? I'm not going to say Alex Caruso's overrated because those are, smaller pieces of the machine. But the big picture guys that always get propped up at that top tier level, or maybe a level above where they really are, and then they shit the bed every year in the playoffs, like Randall, historically, or DeRozan. Those are the guys I'm very critical of. I'm waiting for you to do something that actually matches your regular season resume in the playoffs. So
Randall's played in how many playoff series in his career? Three. He's 1-2.
Oh, don't do that.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like
but his performances are.
I understand that, but like I said,
I don't think you understand.
You guys are so critical off of. These are three postseason appearances. He executed and showed up. He wasn't perfect against Cleveland, but he had some days against Miami. But he was rough. I get it. It's fine, but to be as critical as you guys are for his playoff performances, I think you guys are just being a little too hard.
Are we? What does he shoot for his career in the playoffs?
I don't have
really,
but you're 100% right.
34%. Bob Cousy shot better than that in 1956.
I'm not knocking his playoff performances. I just think that you guys are so set on, because of this is how he's always going to be in the postseason. No.
Because we're giving him all-NBA nods above Jimmy Butler. That's why I'm critical of him, because we talk about Nick Wright saying Nogic's got no playoff resume. This guy,
he had an all-NBA regular season.
He can't even shoot 40% from the field, and he's getting all-NBA nods over players who are so much better than him. It is not even funny. It is not even – it's ridiculous. The fact this guy just goes in the New York market, and he averages 25 points per game, gets put at a level he's never belonged. Look, I like Randall. I love the story, him overcoming that stress fracture in year one. But I think he just gets way overhyped because, look, it's Brunson's team. It was not Randall's. And when you look at him shooting 29%, 32% in playoff series with terrible shot selection, awful attitude, and even worse, let's completely coin on his team moments, bad defense. What does he bring for me in the biggest moments? That's why I think I'm fairly critical.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. Listen, we've had this argument way too many times. We can move on. It is what it is. I want to do some trivia.
Okay, let's do some trivia.
I want to do trivia
about Julius Randle.
And since Justin hasn't been here, I'm going to hit him with the first one, John. All right, because he's been out on trivia. Now let's see. I got a couple for Justin. Okay.
Sorry, real quick, I want you guys to reread your top 10 shooting guard list, just like 1 through 10, no analysis. Wise Guys Podcast, these are our top 10 shooting guards in 2023. For me at number 10, Derek White. Number 9, Klay Thompson. Number 8, CJ McCollum. Number 7, Desmond Bane. Number 6, Zach LaVine. Gotta show some respect to the guy. It's a little bit underrated. Number 5, very underrated, Bradley Beal. Number 4, I've got Jaylen Brown. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. Number 2, Anthony Edwards. And number 1, Devin Booker.
Hey, you want me to go, Justin? Okay. Where's my list? Okay. Top 10 shooting guards in the league. Number 1, Devin Booker. 2, Paul George. 3, Jaylen Brown. 4, Donovan Mitchell. 5, Anthony Edwards. 6, Bradley Beal. 7, Zach LaVine. 8, Klay Thompson. 9, Chris Middleton. And number 10, rounded out, CJ McCollum.
Okay, and I got consensus number 1, D Book. Number 2, Spider. Number 3, Jaylen Brown. Number 4, the Ant-Man. Number 5, SGA. Number 6, Bradley Beal. Number 7, Chris Middleton. Number 8, Zach LaVine. Number 9, CJ McCollum. And number 10, Klay Thompson.
And before we dive further into the show, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream if you're enjoying. Of course, follow the Twitters as well, where we post consistently